Hey guys, hey, I wanted to talk to you today too about a little bit about this Will Smith shit. You know what I mean? Like I watched another video; it was kind of interesting, and they told me that Will Smith, had a lot of challenges in his life, and he grew up with a dad that was very abusive, and things like that. And that's fine. I get it. You know what I mean? I totally get it, right? And we all kind of fall into that that rut, if you will, right? Because and I speak from experience in that case because I grew up with a dad. He was not abusive, but he would not engage. You know what I mean? For the most part, he would just walk away. When there was an argument, he would walk away. He would never resolve the situation. He would just hopefully hope it would dissipate. And to me, he was verbally abusive. You know what I mean? Because he would always just talk shit, man. You know what I mean? Like instead of being in your corner and supporting you, he would just, it was the fucking opposite. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I was a kid, playing baseball. I used to love baseball, man. My dad was actually a really good baseball player. He was really close to getting drafted, to play professional ball. But my dad was that good, man. He was just really fucking good. And I remember talking to a lot of his friends, and they said, "Man, your dad was just fucking phenomenal on the baseball field," And he was like a lot like Pete Rose, you know what I mean? That's why I really love Pete Rose. But, growing up with my dad, man, he was just, he's just a ball buster, man. Every time we go out and we play, we go hit the ball around or whatever, you know what I mean? And he teach me stuff. It was always like a pain in the ass. It was always a fight, man. It was just always a fight. And then the other thing too that bugged the shit out of me, this was in the 80s, okay, and I'm probably dating myself right now, but this was during an era where, all the kids had long hair, they were, that's just the way it was, right? And he would always make me get a high and tight fucking haircut, right? My dad's never been in the goddamn military, you know what I mean? But every time I went to the barber, the barber was my Nino. My Nino is like a godfather, right? So, it was always a fight. It was always something, right? So my dad was, the point of this, right, is my dad was a big, he was a big source of my therapy. Let's put it that way, right? My dad was a pain in the ass. God bless his soul, you know what I mean? Because he's not with me anymore, but up until the day he died, man, he was a fucking pain in the ass. He was not a baby boomer, man. He was actually before the baby boomer. He was I think they call it the silent generation. But he was just always fucking unhappy, man. Would go to work, just pissed off about work, just come home and put that on us too. You know what I mean? And I was always the butt of the fucking misery, And Will Smith, I think, from what I understand, he kind of grew up in that same kind of situation, right? But I think his dad was physically abusive too, and they're kind of the same thing because psychologically it works the same way on you, right? You're fucked up either way, right? But the thing is that they said that he was always upset that he never stuck up for his mom, during that time because he was abusive to his mom too, So because of that, he feels like he has to coddle women and take care of them and be the protector. You could hear it in his speech. I mean, the guy was fucking bawling his eyes out, which was fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? Be happy that you won an Oscar. Fantastic. You did a lot of great work. And I commend your work because, he's a great actor, man. You know what I mean? I like him. I've always liked him. I don't think too highly of him right now, but he's in a tough situation, But, him crying and talking, going on about, I was put on this earth to protect people, and I protect this person, I protect that person. Dude, you know what, bro? No, man. No. The thing is, and when I got out of that whole situation, I mean, first of all, it made me sick. Number two, it just, I'm like, dude, this world is not about you protecting people. Don't be Captain Sabaho. You know what I mean? Don't be out there, don't be out there trying to protect people. And I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about, everybody, men, everybody else, right? I have people in my life that are pretty fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going to name names or nothing, but, but it's on them. It's on them to fix themselves, man. You know what I mean? Like, I went through some tough shit. I went through therapy for about, 10 years because of my fucking dad. You know what I mean? Because he beat me up mentally, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't have a strong male figure. First of all, he was red-pilled. And blue pilled as fuck. I mean, blue pilled as fuck. And people who are blue pilled, right, always blame other people, right? People who are red pilled blame themselves. A real man blames himself, not other people, and that's what a weak person does, right? So my dad, I don't want to sit here and just dog on my dad, but he was weak. He was extremely weak, man. You know what I mean? In retrospect. And, I was the strong guy, and he could see that. And that's why he would talk shit to me, because he would try to beat me down to his level. And that's what people do to you, man. That's what you have to understand. People are gonna do that to you. And Will Smith is right in what Denzel told him, right? Denzel told him, people are always going to beat you down at your highest point, right? But what Denzel forgot to say to him was, and what red pillars like myself would say, is that people are always going to beat you down, bro, but you got to lift yourself up. You can't count on your wife. You can't count on your friends. You can't count on Denzel Washington to pick you up out of this rut, bro. You got to pick yourself up. You know what I mean? And when you're in a rut, like, the last 4 years, man, have been the toughest fucking years of my life. I went through somewhat of a divorce. I lost all my shit, had to move in with my mom. And you know what I did? I turned that frown upside down, and I turned the negative into a positive, and I built my life back up again. And now, you know what? My life is better than what it was before. And I got rid of all the bullshit in my life. As much as I loved my ex-fiance, I mean, I got to say that I loved her more than I've ever loved any woman in my entire life. Right? Because our relationship was on another fucking level. And it's exactly like what Corey Wayne talks about in his book, right? He talks about when you find that woman and you make love to that woman that you vibe with in that kind of way, dude, it's a mind-blowing experience. It's a mind blower, So that's what I had with this woman. It was phenomenal, man. Every day was like just a wonderful day. Every Monday I would go to work, and they would ask me, how was your weekend? I'd be like, fucking fantastic. Because we just had a ball together, man. Every day was just a blast, Because she was just cool, man. She wasn't naggy. She wasn't a pain in the ass. She rolled with the punches, man. And you know what? And the other piece of that too is I was in my frame. She was in my frame. And it made life a whole lot easier, man. So that's the thing, man. That's what Will Smith doesn't fucking understand, and I wasn't an asshole. See, people, and I've heard this if I had a nickel for every time I've heard this, I wouldn't have to be working right now, right? Well, you don't have to be an asshole to women. Don't be an asshole. Dude, being in your frame is not being an asshole, man. It's knowing when to say no and when to stand your ground on some shit. You know what I mean? And that's what women do. Women test you, man, because they want to feel secure. They want to feel safe with you. They want to feel like you're the man of this relationship, right? And to be honest with you, there's not very many men out there anymore. And that's the problem with the world today, right? Because they grew up like I did, and I'm using myself as an example. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody necessarily. But to be honest with you, we have a lot of bitches out there. A lot of men are bitches. They don't know how to act with women. These men that go out and kill women, that go out and do, horrible acts to women, rape them, do whatever, right? If you look at the way they grew up not having a good, strong male role model. You need that. You need to understand that, right? Because that strong male role model is going to teach you how to be strong in yourself and learn how to be centered so that you can put off that vibe and you can get that vibe back in the world, I had to learn all that shit on my own, right? I mean, it took me years and years of fucking up, banging my head against the wall, wondering why it hurt. It was basically the definition of insanity. And then I come to a realization when I'm 40 years old. I'm like, oh, okay. And then another realization when I'm 48 years old, when I fall into this red pill shit. And I'm like, oh, it's another level. Like with Corey, you got to be a centered guy. You got to be you, and you got to know when to say no to a woman because she's testing you, that sort of thing, right? So I knew that piece when I was 40 years old. But then the red pill piece opened up a whole different world, and it's like, okay, you got to be strong in all these other areas, in work, friendships, any type of relationship, whatever the case may be. You got to set your ground. Even with your kids, you know what I mean? Even with my dog, my dog has to know that I'm the leader. He doesn't lead me, I lead him. So when he pulls me on the leash, I pull back. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, right? I mean, it's the same. You got to know when to pull on that leash and when to let go, And if you let go too much, people are going to treat you like shit, People are only going to treat you the way you allow them to treat you, and if you draw a line, and you got to be ready, 100% ready to be able for those people just to dissipate out of your life, right? If they don't like what you have to say, and if they don't like you saying no to them, then you got to be okay with them leaving. You really, truly have to be okay with that in your heart. I know a lot of you care about people and you care about the people that are around you. But you got to really not care about what people think, because that's going to fuck your life up. It really is, man. If you live life for other people, you're not living life for yourself, and you're taking away from yourself. And I think that's what Will's doing. Will's he's so afraid of losing his family that he's becoming red-pilled and just saying, okay, so that he keeps the peace, right? But sometimes you got to have a little bit of tribes and tribulations, right? Trials and tribulations. And some rough waters so that the rest of your life is easy. Like me, I went to school. I busted my ass, man. I went to school and graduated with my MBA at the age of 28 years old. Went back to school, graduated with my electrical engineering degree at the age of 33, right? And you know what? It was pain. It was pain. It was pain. This working out that I'm doing right now, it's pain. Fucking pain, dude. I'm hungry all the goddamn time, right? Because, I mean, looking at the way I used to eat, man, I used to eat 4,000, 5,000 calories a day, right? Now I'm at like 1,800. You know what I mean? So it's pain. But you putting in that pain is going to make it worth it in the long run. That's what you don't understand. That's what people don't understand, right? That's what Will Smith doesn't understand. If he stands up to Jada now or to his kids and he shows himself and shows everybody else that he's a fucking man, right? I'm not saying be an asshole. I'm saying draw the line. Know when to say no and hold your ground. And be strong in your convictions, right? Don't go back and forth. Like when I was with my ex-fiance, right? If she came back into my life and she wanted to come back, you know, and I said no. I told you, if I see you drinking again, we're done. She'd think I was bluffing. I don't bluff. You're done. That's all there is to it. People fuck me, they're done. I have no place for that kind of shit in my life. And that's to the point Will needs to get. Will needs to get to that point to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to stand my ground. And when Jada comes to me and she talks shit, he did it once early on in his relationship. He actually was going to break up with her. And she was like, oh, no, you know, I'm going to lose this guy. No, that's when people love you the most, is when you stand your own ground. And you stick to your convictions because you're beating to your own drum. You're being your own man. You know, everybody's a sheep in this world, man. Be a fucking wolf. Like Wall Street, right? I'm telling you, man, you know, and Will needs to be a wolf. And you guys need to be wolves out there, right? Don't be an asshole. And learn your boundaries. But stick to your guns. Stick to who you want to be. And be confident in that. Be proud of who you are, man. You know what I mean? Because every single one of you have something wonderful to offer this world. And I want you guys to know that. Seriously, man. Seriously. Everybody has something to offer. I've noticed that. You know, I work with a tremendously diverse, environment, right? Because engineers are really diverse, right? You get, you know, Mexicans like me, you get, you know, white people, you get, you know, Asians, you get, you know, Middle Eastern, you know, I mean, and they all are super fucking interesting people. It's just amazing to me. And I'm so glad that I did it. So you have to look at the glass half full, not the glass half empty, guys, right? But be strong in who you are. Be proud of who you are. And you're going to see the change that you get in this world. All right? Hope you enjoyed this video, man. Just a little bit of positivity to put in your week. And just remember that, man. Whenever you need this shit, listen to it. Also, too, you know what? Listen to a video. There's a video, right? It's from Any Given Sunday, and I listen to it every once in a while when I'm having a tough time in life, right? It's called Inches, and it's Al Pacino giving that speech in Any Given Sunday. If that doesn't pump you up, I don't know what does, man, because it's phenomenal. So go take a listen to that, man. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.